All right, Deja. Thank you for taking the time. Um, what's your subject?
Okay, so I did my presentation on Savannah, Georgia. I picked Savannah mainly because usually when I talk about where I live or I talk to new people and they ask me where I live and I say Georgia, they ask me am I living in Savannah or Atlanta. That's the first thing they say. So I chose Savannah to do as my project. Um, to start off, I got um, just a little bit of history and some facts about Savannah. So the history of Savannah. Savannah was the first city in the 13th colony that Oglethorpe named. Savannah is also known as America's first planned city. Oglethorpe laid out the city in a series of grids. So he planned as he was doing the grids, he planned a lot of spaces for town meeting places, centers of business, and public squares. Currently, there were 24 original squares, and there are still 22 still existing today. Also, Savannah Historic District was designated a national landmark in 1966. Okay, we can go to the next slide. So in the destination life cycle, I was kind of trying to choose between involvement and exploration. So I put on here both why I chose that it was involvement and exploration. So I said involvement because the city is known for having different events in their community that many people come to celebrate. They continue bringing businesses in order to entertain these guests and keep them coming back for more. And exploration is because basically about the beauty attracts tourists. A lot of people like just the scene of Savannah itself and different places to visit. Like I know the Forest Park was a major place that a lot of people like to visit just for the fountain itself. So I feel like that was another reason why I chose exploration. You can go to the next slide. So these are some places that were recommended when visiting Savannah that I looked up. So Forest Park, of course, they did the trolley tour, City Market, the Owenstown Thomas House, Telfair Museum of Art, the waterfront, and Bonaventure Center and Wet Willie's was a major one also. You can go to the next slide. So these are the places that I visited. I visited City Market, Waterfront, Wet Willie's, and Forest Park. So City Market was Savannah's central marketplace for a lot of for people to trade or shop in 1700s. It's a popular spot for restaurants, art gallery shopping, and they're really meant for like the nightlife because they like to play like live music. And it's just the time most people will be there because Savannah's nightlife is wild. They have Wet Willie's, candy shops, carriage rides are also all examples of the things visitors like to do when they go there. Forest Park, this is a popular gathering spot known throughout Savannah. They have tennis courts, basketball courts, grassy fields, a theater, a fragrant garden for the blind. They also have a park that is a well-known icon of Savannah. The fountain is over 150 years old, and it was also made in 1858. And like I said, I went to Savannah for St. Patrick's Day, but because of the COVID, they canceled the parade. So I still went in order to like take pictures and stuff and really so I actually got to see that the fountain, they had the water dyed green for St. Patrick's Day. River Street is the heart of historic Savannah. It has 21 restaurants. It has candy store. You could do water taxis, of course, shopping. They have the Waving Girl statue, the African American monument of World War II, and they offer Savannah riverboat cruises. So my carbon footprint, for some reason, the calculation was wrong on here. Like it wouldn't give me the right calculation for like the US average and everything. So I redid it. So my carbon footprint is actually 17.73 tons. In order to offset my footprint, I would have to plant 253 trees. For a home, it was 102 trees, and the average US average is 243. Transportation was 72 trees, and the average was 72 trees. And travel was 22 trees, and the average is 43 trees. They gave me ways to decrease my carbon footprint, which is fuel economy, fly direct, changing my thermostat, or consignment clothing. And I chose this site because it was really easy to navigate through, and it was, asking me certain things, and it made me realize, like how much I actually contribute to the world with my carbon footprint. You can go to the next slide. These are just some pictures. In the top left corner is the Westin, that's also on River Street. That's the candy shop. The next picture, the Savannah Convention Center, and that's the Georgia Queen, which they also offer the cruises on. You can go to the next screen. This is Forest Park in the top left corner, and then also the fountain in the back. This is just the lake. She was just there, and everybody was dressed in green, so I decided to take a picture of it. And that's also the fountain in the right corner right here. You can go to the next slide. And that's the fountain. If you look closely, you can tell that's kind of dyed green. Not really, but I tried to get that. And that's just me and my friend that I went with taking a picture at the fountain. And those are a lot of people that was dressed up for St. Patrick's Day. That is the city market. This was also in the Forsyth Park in the left picture. That was also in Forsyth Park. The city market right here, and also the right picture is city market. A lot of people in the city park market, and Wet Willie's was also on city market. They have a Wet Willie's in city market and on River Street. You can go to the next slide. And those are the slushies that we got from Wet Willie's. And that's also the top left picture is another picture that was in the city market. Some of the celebrations though that I wanted to go over that are famous in Savannah, that most people go to Savannah for, are the Savannah Voice Festival, the Mother's Day brunch cruise that they probably take. I'm not sure, but they probably take on the ship that was in the last picture on the last slide. They have the Savannah Food and Wine Festival, the Music Festival, the Love and Soul Family Festival, and the River Street Seafood Festival. Savannah was ranked number 3 in the top U.S. cities, and their busiest months are usually April, May, and June, but they have activities throughout the year. I read many overnight travelers are 89% leisure travel, and 11% are business leisure. So to go on the stakeholders, I don't think local people really have a problem with the visitors that come from all over the world, considering all the celebrations that they usually and all the festivals that they have. I feel like they love the people from around the world. That's why they always contribute to their businesses and stuff to, entertain us and to keep us coming back and to show us how much they love their city and how much we should love their city too. Sustainability, they plan to battle their environmental footprint with research, education, and policy implication. I know in 2016, Savannah partnered with Hernan Mayester to promote sustainability. They thought lack of communication and collaboration was the cause of limiting projects to get actually implemented. And I was reading up on it, I actually visited their site. And during this time in 2016, their mission statement was, Hernan Mayer's mission statement was, we will empower the City of Savannah's Office of Environmental Services and Sustainability through building alignments and a shared vision for the different city departments so they can work together towards goals of the ESS Sustainability Assessment. And while I was doing this project, I found a lot of different things about Savannah that I really didn't know. And that's the reason why I did Savannah. And this concludes my presentation.
Okay. So you mentioned local people.
Mm-hmm.
How are the tourist stakeholders in Savannah?
Tourists, most people go, because I know I talked to some, while I was in Savannah, I was talking to some of the people that came down for St. Patrick's Day, like I said, and most of them, they like the nightlife of it. They like the the scene of it, the people here, the family vibes of Savannah. And, you know, contribute. They felt, I mean, this one lady, she was talking about how she felt like it when she came here. She likes to contribute to certain restaurants that she know that's involved in the community, and actually cares about the community. So when she comes down, she feels obligated to, you know, like give back to them for her visiting there.
Do you think Savannah promotes itself as an ecotourism type place, or?
Um, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't. I've never seen too much of Savannah kind of like promoting themselves as an tourist place. But I mean, they have acts like I feel like they're trying to implement it, but as of actually broadcasting that or showing other people, I don't feel like they do enough to show that of themselves.
All right.